Welcome to the first episode of the Bantu Boyz Podcast.
Bantu Boyz.
Bantu Boyz. I'm here. My name is Blako Wisa, here with
Julian Chikuna.
Yes. We are 2/3 of the Bantu Boyz. Of course, the boss, the real Bantu boy, he's in the background. Pause. Patrick Ilumbanza. Right?
The boss is hiding.
Yeah, the boss is hiding, right? And So, this is the introduction to the podcast. Actually, by the way, we're here shooting at Mingles T-Bar in Inglewood, California. That's where we're over here in California. I don't want to bang. But anyway, so for the intro, we're going to introduce ourselves to the community because, people on Instagram, people on Facebook, they see like our POV videos. They see that I hate mikate with mwamba because peanut butter's trash. You don't like people that eat pig feet.
I can't.
This is disgusting.
They're nasty, bro.
I didn't even know Congolese people ate pork. I thought after they ate pork, but niggas
My
love.
also consumer are trash.
Oh yeah. But niggas love the pig. It doesn't matter. Ken, États-Unis, Belgique, right? They like it all. So Julian.
Disgusting.
Yes. Julian, explain to the people, who are you? Where are you from?
Okay, so everybody, hi, welcome to the Bantu Boyz.
And you can do it in French, you can do it in English, and then do it in French if you want.
Ok, no problem.
Yeah.
So, alors, moi je viens, donc j'ai grandi en Belgique, à Bruxelles, the city of Brussels, all my life pretty much. Et puis après, je suis arrivé ici à Los Angeles en 2012. Donc voilà, je suis d'origine congolaise, pour ceux qui ne savent pas, mais je pense que tout le monde sait d'où je viens.
Oh.
Yeah, so
I said, I don't know what the hell you said. Yeah.
D'origine congolaise et donc voilà, ça fait un petit temps maintenant, je suis local ici à LA pour poursuivre donc la vie artistique, hein. Stand-up, acting, tout, on fait tout ici.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I don't know what the fuck you said, but look, because I lost my French, not everything got, all right. But look, so wait, you're from Belgium, right? Of course, we're Congolese, but you grew up in Belgium,
yes,
right? You're a comedian, you act,
absolutely,
right?
Yes,
right. You just do it all triple threat, right? Now for me, clearly Congolese, right? Grew up in Los Angeles, was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. 2 sisters. I'm a comedian. Rap, write, improv. I do improv.
So much, man.
Hey,
too much.
I mean, hey, Julian, that's something people say. Look, you have to, like in this time now, like we have the internet. You can create your own fan base. You got to do everything.
Absolutely.
We have a podcast. I have another podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like we do a lot. Okay. So, what made you get into comedy?
You know what? I think, I get, of course as a comedian, you always get that question, right?
Right.
But I think you were born a comedian.
I agree.
I agree. You don't become one, you just are a comedian.
I agree.
Right? So now, to answer to your question.
Yes, sir.
I was just watching a show, this is a famous comedian, French comedian, stand-up, his name is Jamel. And he's actually one of those comedians that, he popped up, like he flew, just like crazy, like big time. He became like huge.
Real famous, right?
Yeah, exactly. Huge in France, in Paris. And so once I was actually lost in life. I didn't know like if I was going to still playing soccer or not.
Right.
And as I'm watching the show, I'm like, damn, this is actually who I am. I'm watching his show, stand up and everything, and I'm like, you know what, this is crazy. I'm a comedian. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Right.
But I want to do that in a different way. So I want to move to America, learn English, and just pursue comedy.
Oh man, that's good. So you were in France. You saw this comedian perform
in Belgium.
And then you decided to come to America, learn English.
Absolutely.
And then do comedy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how impressive that is. No, it's incredible because comedy is an art form, right? So there's like subcultures in America that's underneath the, like, I guess you could say like the traditional or the mainstream, like, you know what I mean? Because in comedy, and you know this or whatever, like to tell a joke it can vary in different regions. So you got to know the different languages, different slangs, different twangs.
Absolutely.
So that's incredible. I remember even some of my friends I grew up with, when they found out, remember you were on most of the podcasts, and you were talking about being from Belgium, and you were talking about, I speak French, I came here, I moved here to do that. I remember one of my friends, he was like, that's incredible that Julian didn't speak the language, moved here, and then he's doing comedy. First of all, comedy's hard as hell. The people that don't know, comedy's it's one of the hardest art forms ever. It gets the least amount of respect, right? Right?
Absolutely.
So for you to like learn that's incredible, bro. That's incredible. So
I always take that as a, of course, as a compliment. And
right.
I feel flattered. And then behind that, it's of course it is a hard thing to do. You don't realize until you get there at comedy clubs and you have to learn how to structure, your jokes, your journal and stuff like that. So that beside that, it's amazing,
Yeah.
And so what made me understand that it's possible to do that in a different country, in a language that you don't necessarily control, master. You can learn English, right? But if you can learn the language and understand the culture and adapting yourself to it, right? You can actually do it.
Right. Now, let me tell you something. You're for sure inspiration. And I'll tell you, for me, what made me want to do comedy, I agree, you're born one. You know what I'm saying? Because this is funny because human beings go through pain, right?
Yeah.
But with comedians, when I see comics, we all have this thing where we're missing something, we went through something that a normal, happy person wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Like it's like a secret society.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if you're a comedian in Chicago, a comedian in New York, LA, Florida, Miami, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? And I just remember like being young, and before my dad died, I told him a story about a ninja. I was like 4 years old, and I was like, oh shit, I'm doing stand-up, right? Fast forward till I was 15 years old, I had a substitute teacher that was a comic, and I said always go back and forth with the jokes. I'm 14 years old, and I'll never forget Mr. Pippins, shout out to Mr. Pippins. He said, you're a comedian. And so somebody said, no, you can be like anywhere, you're a comedian. I remember being 14, I was like, what are you talking about? 17 years old, I'm in a Spanish class, and we used to do improv in Spanish. The teacher used to make us stand up, and to help us learn Spanish, she was like, you should like perform it. So it should be levanta la mano, or whatever, like raise your hand, I'll say it in Spanish. And she would pull me to the side, like, you need to do improv. You're a comedian.
Wow.
So you get all of these signs.
Epiphany.
Yeah, epiphany, or whatever as you grow up, right? Then a week before I went to school in Virginia, Norfolk State, the HBC, the real HBC, right? Better than Hampton and better than Howard, right? And I'm telling you something that goes to Howard. Get out of here.
Arrogant.
Yeah, so arrogant, right? And I remember I was there, but a week before I went to school, my friends took me to a comedy club. They took me to Haha.
Okay.
They took me to Haha Cafe as like, going away party. So we're at Haha Cafe. The comedian that they were on stage, he was bombing, right? So I was wearing the sweater and I wasn't laughing, I was just sitting there, I was like, oh man, this is cool. He's like, hey you sweater, Bill Cosby, get up here on stage, or whatever. So I get up there on stage, he makes me do a skit with him. I end up being funnier than him. And I remember, Julie, and I was close at that. I remember when I got off the stage, I was just like, that wasn't that hard to get up there on stage and just be myself. Kind of felt like I was doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Just felt natural.
Just felt natural. Then I'm in college, right? I was like, man, I don't think I'm gonna become a doctor. I'm not gonna become that, like, this make me happy. So I just started watching a bunch of comedy. Started watching Dave Chappelle. Because you already knew who they were.
Exactly.
But you were like, can I really do this? Then I came back, went to a comedy school. I took a class. I was like, I really like it. Started taking acting classes. The rest is history.
And don't you feel that's amazing, bro? And congrats on the.
Thank you, sir.
I think that's huge to be able to to follow the path of what you really want to to do in life, right?
Right.
Because not a lot. Listen, I believe, not a lot of people are able to do it,
No, we're very fortunate.
Right?
Uh-huh.
A lot of people, they wish they could have those signs and be able to follow the path of whatever they dream of and, all those things. But not everybody can do it.
And it's funny you say that because I think, like, as a talent, if you're able to be successful, pursue it, make a living at it, you should be very grateful. There's a lot of people man, that they don't... Man, they don't even have the will to chase their dreams. Like, their dreams are dead. You know what I mean? So for you to be creative, Like I know for me, I hold it with a high like regard and responsibility. Like, hey, I'm lucky. That's whenever I perform and somebody's like, hey man, you were funny. They come to me after a club, a show, or they hear the music. Hey, I like what you're doing. I always say, man, thank you. I always try to be like, oh God, I thank God for this.
Absolutely.
Because there's people here that, man, across the street, man,
just gotta stay grateful.
Yeah, every 2 weeks, just Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday. You know what I mean? So we're very, very fortunate. So I know people want to know, how did we all meet? How did the Bantu Boys? How did we meet? And I know it's real funny because we were at, was it Ice House?
Ice House Comedy Club.
Right.
Comment on s'est rencontrés? Yeah, I gotta through some French.
No, French. Oui. Levante la mano. No, that's Spanish. What you call it? Sacre bleu. Right? Right? And I remember we're at Ice House and it was an open mic.
Donc on était dans un open mic au Comedy Club, Ice House Comedy Club.
And then you went up, it's funny, you went up there, I was in there, and you ripped it, like, you killed it. And I was like, hey, this is real funny. But the moment you started talking, I said, wait, where's this guy from, right? Because, you know, all the rest of the comedians were like, hey, man, he's funny. And then Dave was like, hey, man, real funny or whatever. I was like, yeah, he's funny. But where's this guy from? So when you walked out and you went to the back, you talked to your friend Saeed. I remember you talked to Saeed and Briz, right? Right, Briz, right? So I went to him and I said, where are you from? They're like, I'm from Central Africa. I said, man, you don't get out of here with that Central Africa crap. You know, you always tell us that people that don't know anything about Africa, I'm from Central Africa, just make it easy for you. Like, I knew a girl in high school was from Nigeria. She would be like, I'm from West Africa. I was like, shut up, where are you from? Who do you think you're talking to? You know what I'm saying? Is it Gabon? Is it, where are you from? Or whatever. So I remember you're like, no, I'm from Congo. I'm from, and you said Congo Ken, and I was like, Sanko Bodi. He said, hey! Muka! Okay. I was like, yeah, bro, yeah, blah, blah. I said, man, real funny. How long you been doing comedy? And this, that, and that. Yes. But I don't think it solidified us yet because I was like, all right, man, I'll see you around, whatever. I said, it's really cool. I think we followed each other on Instagram. I think that was the first thing, right? Yeah. And then I think it was 2 weeks later because it was Sunday night.
Yes.
We're at the Improv.
At the Improv, yes.
Right. And I saw you again. I remember we were all waiting to get up.
Yeah.
Nobody got up, right? It was like 12 o'clock. And I looked at you, looked at me, and I said, all right, we see each other twice in 2 weeks. We got to do something.
Absolutely.
We got to do something for the culture, right? And I remember you said you were going to go to the home. You were going to Belgium to see your father and your mom, right? And you was like, hey, when I get back, let's try to figure out something. I said, okay, we'll try to figure out something. In the meantime, when you left, I kept thinking, I was like, because I was just racking my brain, like, what should we do? Well, what should we do? All right. And I remember thinking, who would be like real dope to be a part of this? Because we start like kind of like a crew.
Yeah.
Because I had people around, but I was like, well, we're gonna do something kind of based around Congo. Mm-hmm. I thought of Patrick. Because every time I would shoot something, he was always there.
Yeah.
He would be the first one there, last one to leave, come to all my graduations. Like anytime I need something, he was always there. Patrick would always be there.
Like a real tonton, right?
He was tonton.
No, he looks like a
tonton. Oh, he's ready. Oh yeah, tonton.
Plus, tonton is always close by the money.
By the money, right? But you know what's funny? You know, another reason I thought about it because he would always do photography at everything we did. He was a video shoot. He'd be like, do you want to bring my camera? I'd be like, yeah. And you know what's funny? You don't put two and two together, but God will always send you these messages. So you gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
You gotta pay attention.
Absolutely.
I go on his page, and when he was in college, when he was in law school, he would take these pictures. I'd be like, well, these are really nice pictures. But you never think, oh, he does photography. Like, oh, whatever. Because, you know, we're taught your hobby can't be your career.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, we're always like, oh, he just does pictures, whatever. Nah. Whatever,
which is bullshit.
Right. Right.
Why not? Why not?
Right. Why not make your hobby your career? Yeah. Anyhow, so I said, Patrick, man, I bet this guy in Chikuna, he talking about his father's a great boxer. Oh, that was your intro too. You know, my father, your mom, your family knows me. I was like, who is this guy? I don't know you. But then, because I went back to the family, I was like, oh, the one across the river. Really? No, everybody knew you. Oh. Everybody knew your father.
I mean, I'm assuming, you know, Congo, you know, the dad. I grew up like that, you know.
No. It's funny because when I told it, even Lobi na big cousin and like Eric, you know what I was telling you about? Mm-hmm. When I told him, oh no, Chikuna's son, he was like, chickens? Yeah, he went crazy. He went crazy. But no, so when I told Patrick, I was like, hey man, I think we could like really do something. I said, are you down? Like with your schedule, this, that, or whatever. I think we can probably do something. I was like, hey. Because you know what happened too? When you left, I know I'm talking too much, when you left and went to Belgium.
Just express yourself.
That messy, yeah. I had a show, And Patrick came to this show with his now fiancée Ashley. She was his girlfriend then, all right? And
status changing, like, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, this guy's blowing up. He's don't throw. He's about to be Tata. Oh yeah, he's ready. And my comedy manager came, and I was like, oh, that's my manager. And he was like, do you mind I get in contact with my manager? And I just want to ask her some questions. I was like, are you thinking about managing? He was like, maybe so. And those are all those signs where it's like, wait, time out. Wait. I was like, what's happening? What's happening right now? Right? So he was the first person I thought of. And then I remember we met, and we're like, hey man, I have some ideas. Because some of the ideas that, we shoot, or even us in the podcast, I had an idea of doing something for Congo. What about you? I wanted to always get in touch.
So thank you for mentioning that. So what happened when we've met at the Improv again, right?
Yeah, right.
So from that point, I'm like, hey, there is something to do, we have to do something because there's so much avenues we have to explore, and we also can explore, especially based on where we are, right? So I'm like, man, there's so many stuff we can do. Plus, I knew from that point that also that was so interesting, the fact that you were born here, and rooted in Congo. I was born in Europe, and raised in Europe, but we're both Congolese and we live here now, and we're doing the same stuff. We're artists, right? We do comedy. I'm like, damn, so question mark, what can we do? And then so when I was back from my trip, that was clear, like we need to develop, some stuff. Let's try to see, sketches, comedy, content based on culture.
Right. And I think that's real cool. Like, I think one of the benefits of us that I think people will enjoy is what you said about, like, okay, we're Congolese, right? But I grew up in LA. In États-Unis, and you grew up in Belgium, so we have different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Different ways we grew up in this, and I think that's a really cool balance because it's like, let's say if you're in Canada or whatever, right? You're in Belgium, you're in France. You're like, okay, well, I always hear about Congolese people in the States, but I'm in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So now I can be sort of like their voice.
Absolutely.
Right. Or like the Congolese people that I grew up with here in LA. You could be their voice, like the bridge to like Europe, you know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
etc. Be like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, you sound like my cousin. He's like the guy. You're like, he was like cousin guy, right? So it makes a lot of sense. So, I guess we will both answer this, but like, how did you come up with the name Bantu Boyz? I think it was you that came up with it. Like, how did we come up with that?
Thank you for the respect again.
This guy.
So if you look at my email address, you understand that. So to me, it's just like a spirit of that. Even in my comedy, I like, I always referring that to the Bantu. Because it's all root, it's who we are, and that was actually like easy, like we are the people, right? So I'm like, plus it sounds beautiful too.
No, I love it.
And so that's why when we have like a couple meeting, I was like, I was thinking about it. And then you accepted, so
I love
that was
it.
perfect.
I love it. It's good on the tongue. Us being here in LA, you gotta think about like Hollywood, Bantu Boyz, it's quick and easy.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? And then even like when we're thinking about like the logo or whatever, like I don't think even people realize with the logo. So people see the two B's, the Bantu Boyz, right? In the middle of the B, it's actually the eyes of a leopard because the leopard is the cone of the DRC's. That's our national animal. So it's supposed to be like Congolese talent looking through the eyes of a leopard.
Vous voyez dans la lettre B là, du Bantu Boyz.
Yeah, tell us. Give some bongo. Give some bongo.
Ça, c'est the
deal. It's tired of you guys. And make sure you follow the chair. But no, so when he came up with that name Bantu, I was like, man, that's like quick and easy, because I was like, the Congo guys, I was like, nah, that's, you know what I mean? Like, so the fact that Bantu, and it's so deep.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's like way before colonization. That's like that's a name that's always stayed there. So I guess, okay, for you, Julian, what would be the goal of the Bantu Boyz?
You know what? It's the goal of the Bantu Boyz. Such a interesting question, because we have like so much we have a lot on the table.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
But overall, I would say that it's to create that platform that can allow a lot of all people
yes.
to relate to, from what we create. Like if it's from sketches,
right.
we can create that fan base.
Right.
If it's a podcast, the topic we can talk about can create that momentum for the artists or the people they want to share stories and stuff like that.
Okay.
So Bantu Boyz, it's a platform.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Julie, to continue on, you were talking about what is the goal of the Bantu Boyz for you?
So the goal of the Bantu Boyz, for me, would be that, to reach a level of cultural, artistic platform
Fancy.
through all these avenues that we do have, right? Such as comedic, podcasts,
right?
Music for you, because I believe in you. You're also your rap talent, so stuff like that. Film, TV show, and all of that. So it would be like to be the best platform here in the US that have like that African, Congolese perspective, and European and American.
I love
that
it.
Make sense?
No, it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. Dollars, francs. It makes francs. What you call it? For me, I guess to add, or I agree with everything you said. My goal on the Bantu Boyz is to be I guess I would say what do you call that? A production company that makes movies, films, sketches, shows about this generation, and tapping into the past. I think it's important for us to learn also about the past as well, because if you don't know the past, you make the same mistake. So it'll be hard for you to move forward. So for this generation, so we can. I had a break for it. I thought I was trying to say something so eloquent, and it came out dumb. No, right. You're like, I want to say something so profound. No, so this, so we can make content that explains our experiences. Like, for example, like you grew up in Belgium, but I grew up here in the States. Growing up here, not only in the States, but growing up in Los Angeles, it's very, very different, and it's a different experience than it was for you growing up in Belgium. And you're looking like, hey, I grew up in Belgium, it's completely different. You wouldn't even understand the stuff I had to go through, where there's like racism, culturalism, all these different isms that you had to deal with or whatnot. So I hope our platform, like our films, could be about our stories from the past and the future. Our sketches, the same thing, past and future, can be creative, can be off the wall and stuff like that. Especially like POVs. I love our POVs about the food and stuff like that. But then when it pertains to the podcast, I want the podcast to be a platform that Congolese people that are coming from, that are here, that are in Cannes, in Brazzaville, that are in Belgium, that are in the East Coast, that when they come to LA, I want to go on the Bantu Boyz Podcast. I want to be interviewed by them. And it doesn't matter, it can be, I guess this segues into like, what can people expect from the podcast? We're going to try to highlight Congolese people that are doing stuff in different aspects of the world. Because, I realized like, there's so many Congolese people that are doing great stuff that we don't know about. You know what I mean? Whether it's in entertainment, whether it's in sports, whether it's in health, whether it's in science, whether it's in academics, whether it's in fashion, it's in business, it's in writing, literature, archaeology, in history, in social justice. You know what I mean? I think we could be the bridge so Congolese people know, like, oh man, I didn't know there was a Congolese person that invented the light bulb or whatever. You know what I mean? And etc. And then I hope it leads to like us bridging the gap with our brothers here in the States, and even our brothers that are living in Europe and Canada, or whatnot, or whatever. So yeah.
So that's exactly, actually, I'm sorry. That's where we're going, and I'm glad to hear your perspective on that. You know, on that, your opinion on it,
Right.
because that's exactly what it is. You know, we have that huge potential, and we using to go forward with that. You know?
Oh, also I have one more thing. I want to use this platform as a podcast to get with as many Congolese famous women as possible. That is my goal. It doesn't matter. I'm talking to you, baby. No, no. I guess like we kind of alluded to like what can you expect from the podcast. I know we said what kind of guests are ever. Where can people find the podcast? So,
Spotify.
Right.
Working on iTunes.
YouTube, of course. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Twitter.
YouTube coming.
Yeah. We'll have it on YouTube, and we'll try to release it every Monday. So we'll have a different guest every Monday for you guys to expect. So just go through this journey with us. Live some on friendship.
Bon, n'hésitez pas à nous suivre sur Instagram, notre page Instagram Bantu Boyz. Sur YouTube on arrive. La podcast en fait sur Spotify, on est sur Spotify, on arrive sur iTunes. Donc branchez-vous, soyez sûrs de nous suivre sur Instagram.
So yes, everything he said. So just expect it every week. Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, YouTube. Leave a comment. We love comments. We will always respond to a comment. No matter if it takes us 2 days, 3 days, we'll always respond to a YouTube comment or even on Instagram. And just follow us through this journey. Just make sure if you like it, please share it. You know what I'm saying? So we get the word out to everybody in the community that like, hey, you have brothers here in LA that are doing, we're doing good work. Yeah.
Voilà, yes.
So,
pour les followers, pour les followers qui nous follow sur Instagram, pas de mangeur de makoso, s'il vous plaît.
I understand that. And forget those people with the Moamba. People this thing, I don't understand. When I heard people put peanut butter on mikate, I said, who are these people? Trash. Let me say, after Cheki said it, I'm going to be the president.
Right? This is crazy, man. Those are the things that reminds you that, okay, you have to love America. It's like a very difficult relationship, on and off relationship. You have to love it, but with distance.
Yeah.
People that don't like mikate with peanut butter, they're haters, that's it.
Oh, okay. I can hear you, I'm right here. Okay, right, you guys, thanks, and we'll see you guys next week.
Keys, we're going to Congo.